Okay, ACES are wild, but Rutgers loses the hand. Let's get to it. All right, so Rutgers is paid back by Penn State with an 80-72 loss at Penn State after an 80-76 Rutgers win earlier in the year in Piscataway. We're now 10-9 and 3-5 in the Big Ten, and we have. People are calling it a big game this coming Saturday against 17-2, number 8 Michigan State. It's not a big game. It's more of a big game for Michigan State. They can stretch their lead and cement themselves as the big dogs in the Big Ten. We're 10-9 and we're 3-5. Michigan State's coming off a big win over Illinois. They're number 8 in the country. Penn State ends their 4-game losing streak by beating us tonight. I think any delusions of us making a run, pulling it together, and getting to the tournament are dashed. Don't want to be that guy, but you can just see through our inconsistent and erratic play that we're just not that team. Even our past teams, the past several years, where we didn't have two on-ball dominant guys like Ace and Dylan, and we'd struggle with three-pointers, and we'd struggle with free throw lines, and we'd go on 8-minute cold streaks. You knew that there was a core to the team insofar as how they went about how they wanted to play and what their identity was. With this team, it's just really herky-jerky, really erratic. We're 1-7 in quad one. We're 2-6 on the road. Rutgers historically a bad road team. And when you're 1-7 in quad one, 2-6 on the road, that's not a recipe for a tournament team. It just isn't. It's not like this team has been together and they just are trying to battle through some stuff and they'll pull it all together. We're not that team. Yes, Ace Bailey had 30 points. Individual great games don't matter at this point. Bad fouls and bad moments down the stretch do. He's had a couple technicals late. That gave Penn State some points and some momentum. But as I've said all along, okay, it's great. We have two top recruits that with the ball in their hands, they're kind of dominating players that can score. But this team doesn't play well together as a team. It's not an integrated team. Penn State won because they had 4 starters in double digits. Nearly had all 5, by the way. And as I've said before, we just don't play good team basketball. And we need to. It's not just about Ace and Dylan. Yes, the New York, New Jersey area likes their superstars. They like to glow in the shine of stars. But, Ace is kind of, his talent is immense. But he likes to play hero ball. Dylan had an off night, but it really shouldn't matter. When you have guys like this, that's the way it probably should work. When one night a guy is off, the other guy picks him up, the rest of the team picks him up. It shouldn't matter if Dylan had 7 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3-11 from shooting. It really shouldn't matter. 1 for 5 from 3. 0 for 2 in free throws. His free throw skid continues. Not good. But it shouldn't matter. We have enough talent on this team where guys can pick each other up for some reason we don't play well together. Did early on. Not so much now. it's okay if a guy has an off night and the other guy picks him up. Ace was 13 of 15. Outstanding. 4 for 5 from 3, 7 rebounds. Not surprising, 0 assists. He has a few of those. It's disjointed productivity. Lathan had 12.6 rebounds. Nobody else was close to having double digits. And that's not because the other guys stink. Dylan Grant had another solid night. If you thought he was going to be a 7-8 point a night scorer at the beginning of the year, you were a smarter guy than I. 7 points, 3 rebounds. Durkax, 6 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists. Jay Wills, 6 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists. Zach Martini, 3 points, 2 rebounds. Agboli, 1.7 rebounds in 15 minutes. J. Mike and Tyson Acuff put up goose eggs. And how hard is this for Tyson Acuff, who averaged 22 points a game? I think he was 8th in the country in scoring last year. And not only not being productive, but he's putting up goose eggs. He's got several of them as a starter. I feel that we are struggling to find the right rotation and getting guys in positions to succeed. He was the 8th leading scorer in basketball last year, and he's putting up goose eggs as a starter. Changing the lineup, what do we have? 8, 9, 10 different lineups. Yeah, you can try and hit the lineup that you think is going to work. But there's productivity lost and productivity gained in other spots. It's still not working. However, we did, for once, we got off, usually, with the recent iterations of our starting lineups. We've been falling behind and then we climb back in, and then we picked up a couple wins. Maybe that's the way to go. Maybe we need to face adversity. We started off tonight, we were winning 4-0. We were winning 9-2, something we haven't done. The rest of the first half was kind of nip and tuck. Penn State takes a 37-35 halftime lead. But surprisingly, we out-rebounded. One of my bugaboos, we haven't been rebounding like past Rutgers teams. If you can rebound, play defense, that's half the game right there. Frustrate the other team. And we shot 50% from the field. That's 3 games in a row, 48, 49, 50%. So what happened? Well, most of that 50% was Ace. Right? He was 13 of 15. But Penn State also shot 49%. They shot 48% from 3. We shot 33%, which is what we're going to do. Penn State had 27 free throws, almost double what we had. We had 14. That's the second game in a row. The opposition went to the free throw line 27 times and had almost double the amount of free throws. Our ace had a big game in the points column, but Ace Baldwin, who after being held to 8 points and 3 for 14 shooting in the first game, had the kind of game that you would expect from him tonight. 22 points, 8 assists, 5 steals. Maybe we can't handle prosperity starting off, with a 9-2 lead. We did the second half, coming back in, we take the lead. We're like, okay, here we go. It's going to be like our last game. But Penn State goes on an 11-0 run, goes up by 8 points with like 6 minutes left. Hey, you knew things were slipping away. We kind of get some false hope there. We get to 69-67 after a 10-2 run. Lathan hits a couple free throws. By the way, how is your power forward, number 4, number 5 guy? He's an 80% free throw shooter. God bless him. Gets to 69-67. Penn State hits a free throw, a layup. They extend the lead, and they finish off the game. One post-game story I read compares this team to the 94 Bulls. I was like, huh? And they kind of made sense when they talked about how no matter how much of a lead you stretch in the second half, they always seem to climb back in and be in it in the last few minutes of the game. No matter what the deficit is, look, those Bulls teams rebounded, had 4 starters in double digits. They averaged like 10 steals a game. That 94 team, they started 23 and 25. Remember, Michael Jordan retired to go play baseball. He comes back. They go on a run. There's nobody coming back to help get us on a run to push us toward the tournament. I don't know about this team. And I don't know about our future. This team is really inconsistent and it's very disjointed. They don't play well enough together. It's okay if one guy has a great night and the other guy doesn't, but that's why they call it a team. Can have 2 guys dominating the ball and then the rest of the team at times forcing up shots instead of hitting the open guy, cutting to the basket. Looking to make the assist. We get out-assisted every game. The defense really erratic. We've played a couple good defensive games. UCLA, Columbia, that's it. We lack an identity. I've said this before. We're like the 2022 Nets. Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, great. Barely over 500. But you got 2 guys that are kind of like stars that can dominate the ball. But they don't play well as a team, and they wound up moving on to greener pastures, and the Nets have gone essentially nowhere. Which leads me to, I'm already looking ahead to next year and what this team may look like. I think it might look like a typical Steve Pikiell team without Ace and Dylan. The pressure of having 2 dominant on-ball guys who can create their own shots is not something that we've had. They're 2 individually talented players that aren't totally enmeshed with and gelling with the rest of the team. The rest of the guys don't stink. Zach Martini, PJ, you're a 40% free throw shooter. You should be a 40% free throw shooter. For some reason, our sets aren't working. Who was it? Was it Cam Spencer who said, this team, isn't disciplined? Not this year's team, but when he was with the team, there was just no discipline. Maybe that's a thing. Maybe taking the easy way out and grabbing the low fruit and letting your two most talented guys handle the ball and take most of the shots is not a recipe for winning basketball. Steve Peichel is going to have to force these guys to play on both ends of the floor, play good team defense on both ends of the floor. Look to make an extra pass and not throw up shots. Don't want to sound like Norman Dale from Hoosiers. Yes, turning into get off my lawn guy a little bit, but look, your record, you are what your record says you are. You're a mediocre team. You're 10-9. With 2 potential lottery picks. Who of you had that written down before the start of the year? Most people had us Sweet 16, some in the Elite 8. We don't play well together as a team. I'm not smart enough to figure out why that is. I mean, you had the 8th leading scorer last year. Tyson Acuff, 22, 23 points a game. You had Dirk acting the MAC player of the year. You have 240% free throw shooters coming in. Okay, you have a center that rebounds a little bit, but not much else going on there. We miss Cliff. Would have been a different team with Cliff in there. Would have given you the ability to do a few more things. Not to mention defend the paint, protect the rim. Pass the ball up from underneath, kick it out. This game coming up against Michigan State at the Garden this Saturday is not a big game. I wish instead of being 10-9, even if we were 13-6, this would have been a fun day at the Garden. Rutgers basketball against Michigan State. Right now, if it's a win, great. Okay, it's a win. We're 11-9. And our prospects for the tournament are really not that much closer. We needed to get to, as I've said, we needed to run off 4 wins in a row. We needed to get the 13-8 to have any mathematical shot at making the tournament. And if you can see baby steps, if you could see progress in the way that they play unselfish, selfless team basketball, and they're making strides, you can say, oh, okay, we lost tonight, but you can see where we're getting better. But I just don't see it. It's the same thing. Is it going to be Dylan scoring 25, 30 points? Is it going to be Ace scoring 25, 30 points? How badly are we going to get beat in the paint? How poorly are we going to shoot the threes? How poorly were we going to shoot free throws? Oh, tonight we were 11 for, what were we, 11 for 15, 11 for 14, 10 for 14, something like that. Are we going to play good team basketball? Are we going to play good team defense? We have flashes here and there, and that's about it. And maybe that's a good metaphor for this team. We flash. We got Ace, we got Dylan, and that's about it. Nonetheless, everybody, I hope you get through the January deep freeze in good shape. Not sure how many of you will be going to the Garden. Boy, it's been a long time since I've been to the Garden. Would have been fun to get over there, but even a win at 10-9 is it's like kissing your sister, and it's not fun. Nonetheless, everybody enjoy your week. Maybe there'll be more good news off the field, because it seems the only good news with Rutgers is we do really well in off season. We do well off the field, on the court, on the field. It's a whole nother story. Nonetheless, enjoy your week, everybody, and we'll see you the next time.